Welcome back to the Independent Republican Mike Graham right here on talkTV. We're going to take some calls in a moment, but let us instead just take some stock before we do that, because of course one of the things that we mentioned with Isabel Oakeshott, one of the things I want to get into an awful lot more on this particular show, is what is going on with those people who keep telling us that we have to cut down on our emissions, we have to stop polluting with our cars, we have to get electric vehicles, we have to stop flying, we have to stop eating meat because it's all a terrible, terrible mess, because the climate change is going to kill the planet. Because look at all the floods in Skiathos, and look at all the fires in California, look at the typhoons, look at the ridiculous wildfires in Hawaii, look at all the things that are happening all over the world, because all you know is that that is the reason why all of these things are happening. It's our fault. Of course it's our fault, because who else's fault could it be? I answered a tweet this morning from Dale Vince, who showed us all how water was staggeringly high running down the streets of Skiathos, and tourists are getting told they have to leave the island, they're getting stuck and they can't go back to their hotels. It's all going horribly wrong. But at the end of the day, I've got some breaking news for you. Dr. Patrick Brown, the co-director of the Climate and Energy team at the Breakthrough Institute in Berkeley, California, one of the big places where they do an awful lot of climate research. He's admitted to basically telling a load of lies in order to get a paper published about the wildfires in California. I said at the time, and don't forget, we now know that loads of people were arrested for arson in Greece, in Rhodes, where all those fires started. There's arson, of course, going on in Hawaii. There's arson every single year in California. He kept that out of this paper, though. He said that if he had put the fact that arsonists were to blame for starting these fires, he would not have got the paper published. He also said that he left out other details as well of things that cause these fires, including poor forestry management. But, of course, the poor forestry management that he's talking about is not just poor forestry management. It's poor forestry management ordered by the environmentalists who say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. They used to do it, but that was bad for the environment, so we don't want to do that anymore. So the fact is that environmental concerns are causing many of these fires, right? Because a change in the way that people manage forests is responsible. And that is in addition to the people setting fires. Now, as far as flooding goes, if you know anything about land use, you will know that if you build houses on a floodplain, those houses are likely to get flooded. If you build houses next to a water source, which used to be a river, but which has been somehow diverted, that will come back to haunt you. If you try and divert water around buildings where it used to run through them, they will eventually get flooded. And that, my friends, is what is going on. And Dale Vince would like you to believe that it's all about climate change. It's all about changing the way that we live. It's all about cutting down on your emissions. It's all about not eating meat. It's all about changing your lifestyle. Well, no. How about you stop changing the actual way that planning is done? How about you change the way that forests are managed? How about if you change the way that people set fire to things all the time? And then maybe I'll listen to you.